It just keeps her name, it keeps her right there front and center all the time. And then you're on the street and you're wearing your shirt or something, and somebody will say, "Oh, I've heard of that," or "I've passed her, I've seen it," and that's where it just brings a tear to your eye.
I walked into one, and a lady one of the counselors looked at me, and she had a Kelly pen, Kelly Grief Center pen. I'm like, "Where'd you get that?" And she said, "You saved one of my students' lives." She said she was on the verge of suicide.
That's priceless.
And that there is like, then this is what it's all about. If we know that we're out there and we are truly helping these people, it's what it's all about.
Hi, Callie. Welcome to us. You are beautiful.
My name's Kathy Reeves.
My name's Bob Reeves.
9.5 years ago, we lost our daughter Kelly in a choking accident a week before Christmas, and we'd gone to get haircuts and the whole 9 yards, and on the way home she was eating a pretzel and she choked and we lost her. From that, we started doing counseling with you right away, and we just needed to try to turn things around and make a positive out of something very, very horrific. And that's when I approached Jane and said, I think we should start a grief center, something that people can come to, that they feel safe and they can talk about what they're going through and get professional help. I know there's a lot of other group settings out there that are done by volunteers, somebody like Bobby and I that maybe have gone through a loss, but I really felt in my heart of hearts that I really needed to do something to help people with some professional help that have been schooled in it, that know how to deal with people like us, because a lot of people don't. And that was really important. So now, because of that, we've been able to start the center, Kelly's Grief Center, and I think it's really taken off.
Well, the story began on December 30th, 2010. As I was getting my grandson ready for bed, there was a knock on my door. I then entered the twilight zone. It really was just how they do it in the movies. The military was there, the Air Force was there to notify me that my son had died. And it was very surreal. Very quickly became clear to me that I was not functioning well at all. I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't remember anything. So I think probably by mid-February I ended up at your door, Wendy, here at the Grief Center, really realizing that, actually I really thought that I was heading for a nervous breakdown. I thought that I was going to end up having to be institutionalized somewhere. And I have to be honest, I really thought I was going to come here, get my note from my family and medical leave, and go on my merry way. But you were great to talk with. It was great to have someone to tell me that what I was going through, I wasn't going crazy. I can think about Ken without bursting into tears. I can think about the good things and know that, I'm going to be okay. It's not something you ever really get over. You just get on. And getting on can be pretty good. Yeah.
Hi. You say hi. Say hi. You're going to give us your bank. The center is not set up for just child loss. And so we do have a kids group, or we've got a teens group. These are kids that have lost parents or lost a sibling. But it's nice to be able to have these specific groups because I think they relate to one another. You know, one of the things it's been wonderful with the Grief Center is we have also been able to support people that do want to do individual counseling. Some people don't feel comfortable in a group setting. So Kelly's Grief Center also does pay, you know, for that as well, and will support anybody that you know, would like to do individual. Because I think what has happened, what I have seen is then they do eventually kind of merge into group when they feel comfortable with it, and they do want to, you know, tell their story around others.
I-13.
Oh, it's a hit.
Hey.
Do you want to tell a little bit why you came to see me?
Because
And then-
my mom and dad died, you know. You get it. We just talk about it, try to solve it.
Tell me a little bit about group. What do you guys have in common in group?
Oh. In common, well, we all have lost a parent, and we all go to group. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah. So when you come to counseling, is that some place where you can talk about missing your parents?
Yes. Yes.
Are you ever afraid that you're going to make your aunt and uncle sad, or other people in your family, like adults, if you talk about your parents?
Probably.
Are you afraid you're going to make me sad when you talk about your parents?
Nah.
Eh. So how do you kind of remember mom and dad and keep them a part of special days like birthdays or...
On my mom's birthday once, we made angel food cake, and then we made cards and burned them in a fire.
And why did you burn them in a fire?
Well, because my uncle said it would probably, you know how smoke floats up in the air?
Mm-hmm.
So he said the smoke would send the message to our mom. I remember one of my mom's favorite color, brown. I can picture her in a brown outfit because she liked to wear brown a lot. So that's what and then I can picture my mom perfectly.
So using a color to remember,
Yeah.
that's helpful, huh?
Yes, and then it's also easy to use scarlet for my dad because that was his favorite color. And then I can picture him in Ohio State. His two favorite colors were red and gray, which are the Ohio State colors.
Mm-hmm.
So I could picture him in an Ohio State uniform, and that was actually his favorite team.
Here's Kya taking her steps. Here's Kya taking her steps.
But knowing that we're able to help these people out there that are going through a tragedy that like we have is huge.
It's a good feeling. It's almost like you're blessed in an odd way. Because just like she said, yeah, we suffered a terrible tragedy, but without that,
We
you know,
wouldn't be doing what
yeah,
we're doing.
That there's just so much good that has become of it, and it's priceless, really. When you hear the feedback and what people have gone through, and you look at yourself and say, "Wow, you know, man, how'd you get through that?" Even being what we went through, so it's yeah. I mean, it's incredible. It really is.
And then sometimes they acted like a little kid.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he was good to play with, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think you miss most about him?
I don't know, probably everything.
So when Dad passed away, things family-wise changed.
Yeah.
So how has coming to counseling helped with all the big changes that you've had in your life?
It's helped a lot with basically everything.
Just kind of maneuvering through the day, huh?
Yeah.
What do you find helpful about group?
It kind of makes you feel like you're not the only one who experienced losing someone. Because a lot of kids at school haven't.
What about, there was a big dance that you went to,
A father-daughter dance.
and parts of that were kind of hard, weren't they? We talked a lot about that. And what did you decide to make Dad a part of that day?
My locket.
What was in the locket?
A picture of me and Dad.
So you were able to go to the dance, and you took a part with him,
Yeah.
huh? And everybody comes to group, your mom and your sister and you. What's that like?
I think it's good for my little sister, because she doesn't, like, none of the kids in her class, like, understand. And then when she goes to group, she meets other kids who, like, that are around her age and understand what she's going through.
What about at school? Can you tell me more about school stuff?
It's harder because sometimes they say they hate their parents or whatever if they're mad at them, or say they get mad at their parents because they can't go somewhere. And I just want to say I'd be happy to stay home with both of my parents now, and that they should be lucky.
We are. Joey, Nikki, and Kelly in the cupboard. Joey. Yeah, hi.
You know, if you can't be calm, do not turn around and sit on me. I'm Sandy Letterman. Seth was 21 when he was killed in a car accident, a single car accident, almost 10 years ago. He liked to drive fast also. It was probably about a mile from our house, and he went around a curve way too fast, and the car skidded into a tree, and he died instantly of a broken neck. Seth loved everybody. I don't think he ever met a stranger. He would talk to absolutely anybody. He was funny, squishy, huggable, gave great big bear hugs. Initially, I really thought I was doing okay. But then his birthday in March, I kind of really fell apart. And that's when I started counseling. And it's just kind of been an amazing journey. I've learned an awful lot. Certainly, I would rather not to have ever learned it. But I've learned that things obviously are never going to be the way they were before, but you do get to a new normal, and your life goes on. I would recommend counseling, like, without hesitation. I think it's such a devastating loss that unless you have someone to navigate you through the process, I can't imagine.
Here we go, Kelly's first birthday.
But those anniversaries and those holidays are still tough. I'm a stuffer. I stuff and stuff and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas I'll go on, I wear my heart on my sleeve, so. Yeah, yeah. You really want to ask me how I'm doing? Okay, let's go.
A lot of people are saying, they have problems with their kids or they're in trouble, and I can appreciate that, but I also say, you know what? You have your kid, there's still a chance.
Yeah.
And hopefully they realize that, and maybe
There's
can
no
turn things
bad
around.
day in
Oh, yeah.
our book.
They don't know what a bad day is.
You can make more money, you can, find another job.
Right.
You lose your child.
You've
That's
lost
it.
everything.
You've lost it all. I'm Linda Tilleni.
And I'm Tony Tilleni. Well, Tiffany was born on May 18th, 1986 at 12:09. Still remember the moment.
PM.
12:09 p.m., yes. Loved sports. And she was still fluffy like her mom.
Girly girl.
Girly girl, but she loved sports. She played basketball, soccer.
Teeny tiny.
Yeah, all
Barely
100
pounds
on her.
wet.
She was a passenger in a car that ran a red light and got hit by a speeding truck. So she was in the wrong place and the wrong time. You certainly look at things differently. What seemed to be important is not so important now.
Life, as you know, is pretty much
Changed.
Yeah. But our son is our life, and he's our main reason why we get up and we continue to keep going right now.
Well, just need to know what to, like you what you provide is what to expect. Even to this day, when people ask how many kids you have, it still stops me in our tracks. I mean, it's always 2, but at the beginning, it was really hard.
I left counseling for a while thinking, okay, I'm fine, and I know I found out I can't do it on my own. I need the counseling.
Sometimes I can't even believe it's been 6.5 years.
Yeah. I think they see us.
It's been a long
sometimes.
time. When you think about it,
Yeah.
6.5 years, that's a long time, but
Seems like
emotionally, it's
yesterday.
not. It's not.
I've learned from counseling that I can only let my mind go somewhere for so long, and then I
Yes.
have to get out of it, or I'm going to be in big trouble. Well, we talk about Tiffany a lot, and that's what we've learned from coming to you. Is it painful at times? Yes. But, we learn that we have to walk through the grief to get through it. So we do talk about her a lot. We have her pictures all over the house. We're going to keep her name alive. And that's important to Tony and I. My boss called me last week, and he says, I need to put a new password in for the computer.
Oh, Father John?
Yeah, it needs to be 4 letters. I go, Tiff. He goes, what? I go, Tiff. He's like, okay.
Of course.
Hey, don't tell him. Now edit that out. Don't know my password.
You're going to break into the church computer,
Yeah.
huh?
Well, I'll tell you, without Kelly's Grief Center, I really don't know where I'd be today.
Talking to others at Kelly's Grief Center has really made me deal with my grief.
I don't know what I would have done if it weren't for Kelly's Grief Center.
Kelly's Grief Center has really just helped me get through my loss. I just can't thank them enough.
You know what? My true hopes for the Grief Center is to help as many people as we can. When I look at that and I see the amount of people that we have been able to help so far, then it's so worth it to me. Kelly's touching so many lives out there and doing so much good for so many. And, I always go back to, somebody said to me a long time ago, is if you don't have hope, you can't heal. And I truly believe I kept saying all along, I've got hope, I can get through this, I can get through this. And I think this is what's helping me get through this. Putting the foundation together, putting the Grief Center together, doing the fundraisers that we're doing. Even though, yes, they're a lot of work, and sometimes I feel like all I'm doing is begging people for money. But everybody is so generous and so willing because they know what we're doing, and they know the good that we're doing. They're reading the articles, they're seeing stuff on the race and on the golf outing and what we're doing for people out there. She was only 16 months old, but look what she's done.